My name is Shauna Price, and this is my roller coaster project for Mr. Funch. So the first thing we had to do was create a rough sketch. We had to create a graph of a polynomial that had at least 3 points. I chose to have more, but yeah, we had to have at least 3. And I chose 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And we had to have, out of those 3 points, we had to have at least one that bounced, which means that it's an even multiplicity. All the other ones are odd on my graph. And our roller coaster had to start at 100 feet. My y-axis is feet or height, and my x-axis was minutes or time. So then we had to find a polynomial that would work for this graph. So here's my synthetic division that I had to do to find the polynomial to make sure that it was right. So I worked it out. I worked out each one. I did synthetic division instead of long division. I wrote the polynomial down. I wrote my constants, and then I multiplied and subtracted all the way through and made sure I went all the way down and made sure that at the very last one I had 0.815 and 0. So then my factored form was y equals 100 over 540 times x minus 1 times x minus 2 times x minus 3 to the second power times x minus 5 times x minus 6. The 100 over 540 was multiplied by the rest of my original polynomial before I put it into this standard form. So my polynomial is 0.185x to the 6th power minus 3.7x to the 5th power plus 29.23x to the 4th power minus 116.18x to the 3rd power plus 243.645x to the 2nd power minus 253.08x plus 99.9. Since when I multiplied the 100 over 540, it was a large decimal, and it repeated. So this very last number in your standard form should be about the same as your numerator, which was 100, which was our feet. So our domain is 0, 6. Our domain is the smallest and largest x's on the graph, and then the range is the largest and smallest y's on our graph here. So that would be -5, 100, and the practical domain would be 0, 6. So the end behavior was positive and odd, or no, even. So since it was even, that means that our standard form, this number here, that very first number, was a positive number, and the x had a multiplicity or an exponent that was an even number. So mine was positive and even. So as x goes to positive infinity, y, or f of x, also goes to positive infinity. As x goes to negative infinity, f of x, or y, goes to positive infinity. So here's my roller coaster. It's called the Christmas train wreck. And it starts at 100 and goes all the way down and hits about -3. And then it goes back up to 2 and crosses over. And then it bounces off at 3, which means the multiplicity is 2, and that means it's even. And then it comes up, and then it comes down, and it crosses back at 5, which is odd. And then it comes down to -5 and crosses back up at 6. But since we have to land on the ground when you ride a roller coaster, it ends at 0.